Hey everybody, today I'm going to be sharing my honest review of Crowd Health and then explain what it is, how it works, and why it is so amazing. So if you've been following me on Instagram, you know that I'm a huge fan of this company. We've been using Crowd Health for a little over 2 years now, and I want to give you a backstory as to why we switched from traditional insurance to an alternative model. If you're watching this, you've probably experienced your own gripes with the health insurance industry. I don't know a single person who loves their health insurance. We originally chose United Healthcare because they said they covered out of hospital birth. And of course, what happened? They didn't cover our birth. And it ended up being a long legal situation. And because we missed the fine print that said, if you get pregnant within the first 90 days of your membership with United Healthcare, your pregnancy is not covered, which is just insane bananas. We were shocked when we found that out. So we ended up paying $8,000 out of pocket for our midwife. So we ended up with another health share company. It was much better than traditional health insurance, but it ended up, after a couple of years, just really not being what we wanted. Their reimbursement timing was extremely slow. It was nearly impossible to get someone on the phone to ask them questions, to talk to a real human being. We were like, we have questions, we need answers, someone help us, please. Because when you have an alternative plan, you need to know how to navigate the medical system. When we found Crowd Health, we were so excited, and we were like, I really hope this is as good as it seems, because we need something different. So Crowd Health is very different from a health share model. Health share model is everything goes into the pot, and then that health share distributes money. With Crowd Health, your monthly fee varies. So every member pays a membership fee. It is $55 a month. And then you pay into the crowd. But that payment into the crowd varies every month based on the needs of the crowd. It is not this pot that is the same amount of money every month that you just pull from. It is going directly to pay off people's medical bills. So it is based on bills that were received from the month before. It is so phenomenal, and it works so well. So that is the basic gist of how it works. You pay your membership fee, and then you pay a monthly fee into the crowd. What's cool about the monthly fee into the crowd is there is a max. There is a max amount you will ever pay. They're not trying to bankrupt you. And what's incredible is the more members that join, the more that money goes down, because more people are paying into the fund or into the crowd. I can't remember the exact numbers of how much you will pay, the maximum amount per month, but they have a very informative FAQ page that I will link below that you can get all your questions answered. And then their pricing page. So the FAQ page and the pricing page, very informative. So how does this work? You are technically uninsured when you have Crowd Health. And their tagline that I love so much is delightfully uninsured. When you have a medical event, say I get hurt, I'm lifting weights and I hurt my back. I go to the urgent care and I get taken care of, whatever. Bad example, it could be a car accident, whatever it may be. And it could be something very serious. You go to the hospital, you go to the ER, you go to urgent care, and for every medical event, the member is responsible for the initial $500, and then everything after the initial $500 member commitment is funded by the crowd. What's incredible about this company is that you have a care advocate assigned to you who is going to make sure that we are negotiating for the best cash pay price. And I've listened to a bunch of podcasts with Andy, the CEO, and he's basically like, you want the doctors to be working for you, not the health insurance company. And that is what's so phenomenal about this model. So your care advocate is going to be responsible for negotiating a much more appropriate cash pay price. What I think is so phenomenal about their model and their care advocate employees is that if you're in the hospital and something serious is happening, it is not just you who needs to worry about the medical payment financial situation. They are really on your side and really working for you to make sure that the crowd is covering everything for you that you need after the first $500, and that we're getting the best price for the service that you are receiving at the hospital. And you don't have to worry about any of the negotiations. It is really fantastic. For small medical events, so obviously we want to make sure we have emergency care covered. Absolutely. For small medical events, so like I need physical therapy right now in my postpartum period. So I get onto the Crowd Health app and I texted my care advocate and I said, hey, I found a new postpartum PT. I just want to make sure that this guy is all good, like we can fund this. And I got a text back within 24 hours saying, no problem, looks good. Just make sure his prices are in range with market price, which they are. So I pay the first $500, which is 4 something sessions. And then every session thereafter for a full year is funded for by the Crowd. And it is just so excellent. Not only is that just awesome, but the fact that I just get onto the app, I text my care advocate, and they respond very promptly, like very, very promptly. Similarly, if you are needing a surgery, like you know it's coming up, like one of my parents just got their hip replaced. If I needed a hip replacement surgery because I have been having all these issues, I went to a doctor, I got some imaging done. They're like, yep, you need a hip replacement. I am in communication with Crowd Health, with my care advocate, finding me the best doctor, the most affordable price, and the best care possible. And it's just phenomenal. So what's cool about a situation like that is, like, say you go to the doctor, and since we're uninsured, you have your initial consult with the doctor. Maybe that costs $150. And then they're like, you need an MRI. Okay, great. Let's go get an MRI. MRI, $500. Well, with the MRI and your original consultation, you're already past a $500 member commitment. So you pay the first $500, and then everything thereafter is covered that relates to that event. So it will be the surgery and then any physical therapy thereafter that relates to your specific hip medical event is funded for by the Crowd. So phenomenal. Now, a lot of people ask me, well, like, what about when I go to my annual visit? So like we take our children to the pediatrician once a year for their annual visit, and it's $125. What do? We pay cash for that because it's under $500. I, as a member, am just responsible for that. So that is something to consider. You know, your primary care visits, if you're going more than once a year, are not technically funded for by the Crowd because you haven't met that $500 member commitment for that event. Okay, just something to consider for someone like myself where we're not going to the doctor a whole lot. It ends up being financially worth it, much more worth it than paying for our traditional health insurance, which is going to cost, you know, a family of 5 well over $1,000 a month. And right now we are paying around $500 a month for 5 of us. It's fantastic. What's great though is every member gets $300 to put towards any wellness medical event. And you can truly use it for almost anything. You just got to contact them. And if you're like, I'm not so sure about this, contact your care advocate and make sure that that falls under the wellness umbrella for them. So I contacted my care advocate a couple of weeks ago and I said, hey, I found a new dentist in town and they offer like packages. And the package is $450 for 2 cleanings and a couple other things, right? And can I put my $300 towards that? Even though it's not one visit, it's a series of visits, but it's like a package. Can I put my $300 towards that? And they're like, yep, no problem. So I'm going to go do that, pay my $450 for my dental package. And then I upload the receipt into the app under my wellness visit, and I get $300 reimbursed to me. How amazing is that? And yes, it's only one per year. So you need to think, okay, what do I really want to spend money on this year for my health and my wellness? Let's put it towards that. My daughter has glasses. We usually put her wellness visit towards one of her vision visits, because those tend to be quite pricey. So we have nothing but good things to say about it. It is phenomenal. If you are pregnant and you're a member, your baby is automatically covered. If you are not yet a member and you have a newborn, they don't accept babies until 6 months of age. That's just a boundary they hold. So signing up your whole family, if you have children older than 6 months old, is the best decision we ever made. We've had no problems. And like truly the number one thing with Crowd Health that is just so fantastic is their communication. Like, you are talking to a real human, you have access to them, and they are very prompt in replying. And it just makes me feel like I have people who care about my health and my well-being. And that is just phenomenal. The second best thing is they are extremely prompt with their reimbursements. And that was such a huge difference from our previous health share company. I upload my bill and like literally within 4 to 5 weeks, we have the reimbursement money. It's so awesome. If you are a member, every member gets a referral code, so you can gift a discount to anyone who uses your code. So like I said, a membership is $55 a person. When you sign up using my code, you will get the first 3 months for $99. So you're basically getting a month free when you use my code. My code is Stanwyck. I'm going to put that in the link or in the comments below. And I can't speak more highly of this company. If you have any more questions, comment down below, or you can send me a DM on Instagram. I'm going to put my handle in the description as well.